Blog Talk Radio.
The Oracle, that's me. I'm the one, you're the one. It's as simple as can be. All you have to do is listen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show, The Oracle Speaks with You. Every Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on blogtalkradio.com. The Oracle Speaks with You. This week's show is filled with updates on what has happened, what is happening, what's going to happen. You know how we do it. We open the Urantia book and share the knowledge contained within the confines of its covers. Then we bemuse life. Please feel free to call in 805-285-9772. That's right, so that you can speak your truth with the Oracle. Now, this week's theme is coming to you from the Oracle's heart. That's right, from the heart of the Oracle. Think for a moment that you are an island standing alone in this life. Really? Oh, no. You are never alone. With you, you carry the spirit and wisdom of each and every person you ever came into contact with. You hold the key to the wealth of knowledge on this universe. Perhaps you haven't realized that yet, and that's okay. My dear friend, Keg Johnson Jr., used to always say that God has a cosmic clock. You can't speed it up, and you can't slow it down. All things in its time. The secret is, once you're ready to face your truth, your reality, then what? Then you do what you need to do to take the next step. What you have to do is that maybe you might have to ask somebody for something, or it is what you inherently know to be the correct thing to do. That maybe to ask someone for guidance, that's why I'm here, or you might have to seek knowledge from a book or a class. Whatever it is, you will know. Self-preservation is innate to our humanity. You must allow yourself permission to tap into that essence of your spirit. Put aside societal rules and agendas based on suggestions on what you should do. You already know. Follow your heart. It usually knows, and even when it doesn't, it won't fail you for the lessons of life it provides you. The Oracle speaks with you. Always remember to love yourself. Guess what? I've got a very special show for you today. I want you to take a listen to this song. It's Swing Low, Sweet Chariot with Kathleen Butler singing with the Harlem Boys Choir. And this is to bring us into our celebration of Juneteenth. That's Kathleen Battle with the Harlem Boys Choir.
Sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Oh, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet
Two Spirituals, arranged by Robert Saden, sung by Kathleen Battle. Rise, Shepherd, There is a Star in the East, and Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Zubin Mehta conducted the Boys Choir of Harlem and the New York Philharmonic.
Freedom is a cherishing word to all humanity, particularly to those who have been in bondage.
The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor.
Historically, blacks were not free with any kind of communication from the government until June 19th.
Juneteenth is the day in which enslaved individuals in Texas learned that they were free.
Juneteenth is a day to pause and to reflect and to really assess where we are.
When the announcement was made, the slaves began right away to celebrate and being thankful to God for being free.
There was a time when we were not free to do what we wanted to do, couldn't go and come, families were destroyed and broken up. I think there's a lot of confusion today amongst the younger generation about what Juneteenth is and who celebrates Juneteenth.
Every year on June 19th, African Americans in Texas gather to celebrate the Juneteenth holiday. The 19th of June is a special day, a day representing freedom from slavery. It all began in 1865 when Union soldiers, led by Major General Gordon Granger, landed at Galveston, Texas. There, Granger stood outside Ashton Villa and announced that the Civil War had ended and that the enslaved were now free. This was 2.5 years after President Abraham Lincoln issued his Emancipation Proclamation. Granger's general order would finally free the last 250,000 slaves whose bondage had been essentially unaffected by Lincoln's proclamation.
Galveston was a very important place. It was like New York City. Galveston was a metropolis.
The final proclamation stated that on the first day of January 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall be in rebellion against the United States, shall therefore be
Abraham
free.
Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, as important as it was then, and in some ways it's become even more important as a statement of the United States since that time, it really was symbolic in many ways, because when he issued it in January 1863, it did not go into effect. In other words, the South or the Confederates did not free their slaves at that time.
It had little effect in Texas because communication got that kind of slow. There were no federal troops in this part of the nation, so there was nobody to enforce the Emancipation Proclamation.
The issue here in Texas is that the Union Army was not in control, and slaves were not fools, and they were not suicidal. So to get up and walk off the plantation, indeed, if you were successful in escaping, that was one story. But generally, the powers that be still control and could still marshal a force to recapture and perhaps mutilate the slave in one way or another, if not kill.
No one knows for sure why it took 2.5 years for this news to reach Texas. Some believe that the news was deliberately withheld to maintain the labor force on the plantations. Slaves in Texas worked mostly in East Texas and near the Gulf Coast. Slavery was also common in the Austin area and in Galveston.
In East Texas, slavery there was very similar to what we think of slavery as having been in Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, those kinds of places, that slaves lived on plantations and so forth.
It was work from sun up to sundown, no pay. food was what they could scrounge up, or they kept them happy, giving them chitlins, what we call chitlins, pig bellies, the skin, which we made cracklings. They lived in slave quarters. Most of them had dirt floors.
Elsewhere in Texas, depending on the type of occupations and things, slaves worked a wide range of jobs. So consequently in Galveston, there were things that slaves could do there that were consistent with working in the shipping industry. In places like Austin, there's urban slavery. So consequently, slavery was an integral, a very important part of Texas society during that time period.
Juneteenth, the celebration of freedom. I got this information from a PBS documentary. So I want to say thank you to PBS, always making it happen, Captain, and bringing things to the forefront when elsewise we wouldn't have an observation or an opportunity to get the skinny. And that's a kind of a segue into the next segment. But before we go to get the skinny, and I'll explain that a little bit later, I want you to take a listen to a cool rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing by none other than Ray Charles.
Hello. All right. 3, 4. I got something, y'all, in my bones. Make me want to shout hallelujah. And I want to sing on. Sing on. Woo! Oh, yeah, yeah. Lift every voice and sing. Till it in heaven ring with the harmony. Oh, liberty. Let our rejoice and rise high. Loud as the roaring sea.
Sing a song full of the faith that the dark presence called us.
Oh, Lord. All right.
Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought.
Hey, hey. Hey. Let the new day begun. Let us march on till victory won. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far, oh, along the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the past we pray.
Bless our feet straight from the places of God where we met thee.
My Lord, my God,
Bless our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget.
make it good. May we forever stand true to our God and true to our native land. Is one. Amen to that.
Let's give it up for Ray Charles and the Raylettes. Just a quick note, Ray Charles was my father's personal client. My father was his pharmacist. My father was a senior pharmacist at Harvard General, and for many, many years, I remember
seen Ray Charles when I was a child, and everybody called him Uncle Ray, as usual. That's the thing, you know, when you have people in your life, and they're not really family, but they are, you know. So anyway, I just wanted to share all of that with you, and I wanted to bring you guys up to speed. Remember earlier in the beginning of the show, I said that I was going to be talking about what's happening, what has happened, what's going to happen. Okay, what is happening is just recently I was asked again to come and celebrate the Juneteenth celebration here in Los Angeles at Leimert Park. So on June the 18th and June the 19th, I will be participating in our 150th anniversary celebration of Juneteenth. That's right, we are celebrating 150 years all across the nation. And 4:30 to 5 o'clock, I have a half an hour gig slot. That's right, come on out, get some words, some positive, uplifting, motivational, inspirational word from the Oracle. That's on Saturday, June the 18th. And on Sunday, June the 19th, I'm scheduled for a 10-minute slot between 2:30 and 3:30. Can't tell you exactly when on Sunday, but on Saturday I can. So Saturday, Leimert Park, right there at the corner of 43rd and Degnan. You need to come on out, celebrate Juneteenth. We'll be in the parking lot right behind the Vision Theater. So I hope to see you. 4:30 to 5 on Saturday, and on Sunday between 2:30 and 3:30, and yours truly will be putting it down. What can I say? I'm going to be putting it down. I wanted to play Freedom Wakes Me Up because that is my freedom song. You know, that is my song. So guess what? I'm going to do it a cappella here live on the show, but the wonders of technology. When you go check this out in the archives, or rather, when you check this out on YouTube, you'll be seeing me live, and you'll be seeing the video of Freedom Wakes Me Up. The executive producer for Freedom Wakes Me Up was yours truly, moi. The producer was Keg Johnson Jr. We had on still photographer Reggie Kim. We had on cameras, lead camera Felicia Cook, and second camera was Jim Shiflett, a very famous engineer who is on my team. Yay, thank you, God. Also, let's see, for wardrobe and costuming, we had Tuesday Connor. For set design, she's incredible, and she is the host of this year's Juneteenth at Leimert Park, and that would be DeVoe. And heading up our security was my dear and wonderful friend and brother. We call him Chicago, and his name is Mr. Cruz, Daryl Cruz. So please enjoy this video. And for those of you who are listening live on today's show, here it is.
To give up my freedom, tell me, would my life still be the same? Freedom wakes me up, the treasure of life is mine. Oh, freedom breaks me up too much and I lose my mind. Freedom wakes me up, the treasure of life is mine. Freedom breaks me up too much and I lose my mind. Hey, I'm more of a prisoner now than I've ever been before. To this free spirit in me that can never be free, truly, truly. I keep reaching for the ring when my down is up, and my up sidesteps the carousel every time we meet. Freedom wakes me up, the treasure of life is mine. The treasure of life is mine. I'm losing my mind. Freedom wakes me up, the treasure of life is mine. Freedom. Determined to get what she wants. What does she want? Do I want to give up the freedom? Do I really want to stop the game? And if I were to give up my freedom, tell me, would my life still be the same? Promises were made. Hope rose, the okie doke staring me in the face as freedom faded in the distance. Spiritual hunger and emotional thirst moves me to a life that would clip my wings, and I fly willingly into my capture's grasp. Eyes wide open in a haze of wonder, I look forward, trying not to look back. A new kind of freedom waits for my embrace. Do I want to give up the freedom? Do I really want to stop the game? And if I were to give up my freedom, tell me, would my life still be the same? Freedom, freedom, freedom. I'm losing my mind. Hey, oh, the treasure of life is mine. Hey, do you have the key to the shackles and handcuffs imprisoning my spirit? Does your love transcend the laws of nature, beckoning me to fly free? Will you keep watch o'er the phoenix nest from dawn till eternity? Ashes to ashes, reborn to be free. Question. Answer. The oracle asked a question. You must answer. For you, I will give up my freedom. For you, I will stop the game. And when I give up my freedom, your lives will be better than the same. For you, I will give up my freedom. For you, I will stop the game. And when I give up my freedom, your lives will be better than the same. Be free with me. Never give up your freedom. Hey. Freedom is yours and mine. Hold tight. Use your power then. The treasure of life is yours and mine. Freedom. Freedom wakes me up, the treasure of life is mine. Hey. Freedom. Freedom wakes me up, the treasure of life is mine. Is yours and mine. Freedom. Freedom. Freedom wakes me up, the treasure of life is mine. It's blowing my mind. Freedom.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to share that with you. That's my statement on freedom as we prepare to celebrate for Juneteenth. Now, earlier on, I started a little segue. I said I'm going to give you the skinny on that. Well, I use that term on purpose because yesterday I was in studio taping a brand new television show called Get the Skinny with my girl, Sophia Robbins. Guess what? We went to school together, high school at St. Andrews. Who would have thought? I received an email, and at first I really didn't recognize her name, but I received an email saying you were recommended. I'm interested in you being a part of my show. I would like for you to consider being a co-host. And so I think yesterday might have been my audition because as it turns out, I did really well, and it looks like we're going to be doing this on a regular basis. I don't have all of the details, and I'm going to have to get that back to you once I get all the details, because some things you can't talk about until they're actually happening. But yesterday we actually filmed the promos, the trailers, the sneak peek, if you will, for the show. So I'm gonna get. You're going to get the skinny, and I'm going to give you the skinny in the next ensuing weeks as things solidify and we bring it all together. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you, Sophia, for seeking me out. And we were reminiscent. I was letting it's myself, Sophia, and a young lady named Shanista. And she dances, and she's awesome and wonderful. And so I was sharing with her some of the secrets. They used to call me the wild child, and I was a little bit crazy. And you see how I'm wearing my hair right now? I used to wear my hair like this all the time. I wore it in those puff balls, the natural puff balls, or the big natural puff ball on the top of my head. So either I look like I was right out of Star Wars, or I look like I was getting ready to go on a fight for victory and Black Power. That was who I was. I was explaining to her that I was a social butterfly, and I was always getting around the school, always trying to be happy and be everybody's friend, because my philosophy in life is, can't we all just get along, So anyway, get more to you on that. I should have given you the call-in number, 805-285-9772. We only have a minute and a half left in the show, so sorry about that, folks. For those of you who are listening to the show as you do regularly every week, I really, really appreciate you. I want to say thank you to my production staff. That's right, my daughter, Felicia Maria Cook. I want to thank her for helping me out with this and for bringing me into the 21st century and taking us live on the air. Remember, for every finger pointed, there are 3 back at you. That's right. You are to be held accountable and culpable, responsible for your words, your actions, and your manner in life. Don't forget, you are the one.